Without the information and knowledge of knowing who you truly are, it is almost impossible to come into who you were meant to be. The only way to control and to dominate a god is to set a trap. It's to set traps, it's to deceive and to lie in order to bend the wheel that allows you to create worlds and to do as you please. I'm Risha GodstyleBilal, and this is a tough love message from me and Source to you to help you on your evolutionary experience. What's going on? I'm Risha GodstyleBilal, your neighborhood earthly hype human, okay? I wanted to bring this message to you a lot sooner, but of course, divine timing is the best timing. And I'm super excited to bring this message to you. It's been a long time coming. As you will see, I've decided to use a filter because this is going to be a very long message, and I just kind of wanted to make this message, this whole experience kind of more enjoyable for me, you know, since I'm sitting here looking at myself. So if you don't like the filter, too bad. All right, so I've also written down some notes, so you'll see me looking to the side from time to time to make sure that I'm staying on track with the messages that I'm bringing today and to make sure that I cover everything in this video. Okay, so before I get started, I just want to say that this message is only for the willing and the ready. Anybody else will be ignored and or blocked. This message is for those who are ready for transformation, who are ready to see a change in their life, who desperately need something to help them to evolve and to become the best versions of themselves as the human beings we are here to be and to experience life as. This message is going to be meant to mentally free you and to allow you the space and the opportunity to become who it is that you were meant to become here on earth, okay? But before I deliver this message, I would like to give a bit more of a background on myself and who I am, okay? So, I have been released by the universe to reveal my assignment, okay? And like I said, I wrote down everything because I don't want to miss anything. I've been released to reveal my assignment to the collective and to explain some things to you all that are going to set you light years ahead on your evolutionary experience, on your evolutionary journey. A part of this journey is learning who you are, okay? And I have been afforded the privilege and the opportunity to learn who and what I am, okay? So with that said, I am here on assignment, supported by Source, the divine, God, universe, whatever you want to call it, okay? I've been sent here on a mission that Source is calling the collective evolutionary consurgence. Now, when they released that phrase to me, I didn't even know what a consurgence was, okay? But if you take some time and go and look up the word, just look up every word of that phrase that I just said, you will understand what my assignment is. I am here on an assignment called the Collective Evolutionary Consurgence. I have been properly hazed. Yes, I said hazed. I have been properly hazed and given the stamp of approval from universe to guide you through your evolutionary experience, okay? What does this mean? This means that I have experienced every emotion possible on the emotional spectrum that is unique to the human experience, okay? And most of these emotions are emotions that hold the human collective back from advancing forward. So I have been hazed and gone through multiple experiences that have allowed me to experience both positive and a negative emotions, more importantly, the negative emotions. I have been able to overcome every negative emotion that has arisen within me as a human here having a human experience. This means that I have experienced sadness, depression, jealousy. Although that one didn't stay too long. I got over that one kind of rather quickly. I've experienced hate. I've experienced you name it, and I've experienced it. Regret, shame, guilt, worry, anxiety. I've experienced them all, and I have successfully overcome each and every one of those emotions. I've also experienced happiness, peace, joy, love taught to me by the universe. That love emotion, unfortunately, I have not been able to experience that love emotion through unconditional love. This is through another human being, but the universe saw fit to allow me to experience the emotion of love straight from source. Okay, so I know what it's like to be unconditionally loved. Okay, so I've gone through every emotional experience that the human can experience on the emotional spectrum. In this hazing process, I have also endured the most horrific experiences that humans have inflicted upon self and upon each other, to include poverty, abuse, addiction. And when we talk about abuse, I've experienced mental, emotional, physical, verbal, and sexual abuse. I've experienced all of these different types of abuses, and I have been able to overcome them all. You should know that I have a direct and clear line to source, upon which I am able to communicate with source, and we do converse regularly. For this reason, if you listen to some of my videos, you will find that it's like I'm talking directly to you, as if I'm able to read your soul. One, this is because I can. And two, as I mentioned earlier, it's because I have experienced every human emotion. The circumstances might have been different between you and I, but that's just the variety and the spice of life. All human emotions can come from multiple experiences. Again, the experiences may be different, and the intensity and severity of them may also vary. But the human emotion that is rooted, or that is inspired, or that arises from these circumstances are all the same. Here are a few more things that I would like to share about the assignment that I have been giving here on Earth. So I have been placed here as a karmic for many in order to give an opportunity of redemption, and most have failed. Most have failed. Secondly, I have been placed here as the oppressed of the oppressed. That means I came in the form of a woman, as a black woman here in America. Statistically speaking, I am a part of a collective that is the most oppressed here in America. Incarnating as a black woman here in America, I have been given the task to overcome oppression, domination, and mental and physical enslavement. But you should know that I am a non-binary female. Before I go any further, if hearing any of this pulls or makes any negative feelings arise in you, such as anger, jealousy, doubt, inferiority, if any of these emotions are arising in you as you are listening to this message, please understand that this message is not for you. You are not the willing and you are not the ready. And you have more work to do before you are able to receive anything that my assignment covers here on earth. Contrarily speaking, if you feel inspired, if you feel a glimmer of hope, if you feel intrigued or interested in the messages that I'm speaking right now, this message is indeed for you. All others are instructed to just click off now. One more detail that I would like to add before I go into the message, because all of that was just intro. That was me giving you a background on my assignment here, okay? The last bit of information that I would like to share for you before I go into this liberating message is that as a part of my assignment, I was only given a limited amount of information. Source only sent me here with a limited amount of information, and that was intentional, okay? Source knows that I get bored really easily, and I really like solving mysteries, and it was an incentive as a part of my assignment in order to figure some things out so as to make this journey less boring and less worthless to me. Okay. Now that last bit of information was important because it is going to lead me into the message that I have for you today. Okay. And so the message that I have for you today, I have been thinking, and I took some time out to kind of assess where I am, where I have been sent, this place called Earth, okay? And I didn't want to jump to conclusions, and I didn't want to, I didn't want to make any conclusions that were really drastic, but after some long thinking and consideration, which I've been afforded the privilege to have the time and the space and the skill set to consider some things, to think. I have come to the conclusion that this place we call Earth is actually hell. Okay, now I know that sounds highly impossible, highly unlikely to many, and very probable to some, okay? But before you disregard what I am saying, let me go into a few details and some facts that I have gathered about this place. Okay. Firstly, I have gathered that the collective here on earth is waiting for a redeemer, okay? Only people in hell need a redeemer, okay? Only people in hell need to be saved. What are you waiting on? What are you waiting to be saved from, right? If this were indeed a place of heaven or whatever, there would be nothing to be saved from. And we would not be experiencing the type of experiences that we're having here if this were not a place that the Bible refers to as hell, okay? Now, let me go into a few details that you can readily see yourself. Exhibit A, everything burns. When we talk about hell, we're talking about fire and brimstone and all this other stuff, right? It's a burning, okay? Everything here burns, okay? When your skin, which is the protective layer of your vessel, is exposed, is removed, or the inside, everything that's on the inside of that skin is exposed to the elements of what we call earth, it burns. Yes? Okay. Fire here, it burns. Yes? Ice. Even though ice is cold, it still can burn. Yes? Like frostbite. You can burn. You can get burnt like that. The sun, you get sunburnt. Everything here is almost as if it's designed to burn us or to cause us some type of pain. When you're running and your lungs are exposed to the coolness of the wind outside, it burns. Stress on the inside of the body can cause burning sensation on the inside of the body, and you can experience things like heartburn. The acid in your stomach burns. Okay, there is perpetual suffering here. In the Bible, it talks about an endless amount of suffering, right? Here on earth, please indicate to me a moment where there is no suffering here on earth. Yes, there's suffering day in and day out here on earth. The Bible also refers to the gnashing of teeth. When you are stressed and you go to sleep at night, you are prone to grinding your teeth, which gnashes the teeth and it kind of breaks it down. All of these things are indications that the Bible has given about being in hell, okay? And the things that don't burn, they're just painful, okay? You can easily hurt yourself. Small things like a hangnail that burns, but it's so painful. Just really small, minute things that kind of go wrong with the body can become greatly painful. Okay. So to me, this is an indication that we are in a place where pain is prevalent and almost intentional. Even if it's not intentional, it is so easy to experience pain here. Okay. You walking past a table and you stub your toe. Tell me that it's not the most pain that you've ever experienced in your life. You smash a finger. It's just a finger, and yet it is so painful. Now that you follow me down this rabbit hole, and you might be considering that this place is hell, let me present something else to you. This place is hell, but it's only currently hell because we've made it hell. This place could just as well be heaven. But because of the state of the collective right now, we are all experiencing hell on a very intense and high level. Our emotions, mainly our emotions, is what makes this life hell. But our emotions are also what can make this life more heavenly, where, yeah, there may be some burning and some pain, but clearing out the emotions and setting them straight would bring balance to the situation, which is what heaven really is. Heaven is peace, right? Heaven's not happiness. Heaven is peace. Heaven is balance. And so if we were to all collectively start to get our emotions under control and to start to live in a way that is more blissful, we could balance out everything and we could actually experience heaven here on earth. Okay, so with that said, let me bring you to my next point. My first point is that we're in hell, okay? My second point is that we were all sent here to be gods. Follow me, okay? So we were all sent here to this place of pain, suffering, and burning to come here and to be gods, to dominate, and to create a heaven here on earth. In the Bible, it talks about God going to prepare a place. What better than a place where preparation needs to be had here on earth? This place needs to be renovated. It needs work. And God is a spirit. And the only way that God can manipulate matter is through matter. We are all matter, right? Which is why we matter. That's another point. But we have come here and incarnated in vessels, in bodies that can actually realistically manipulate matter and create the place that the Bible refers to as heaven. So for you Christians who want to argue about being gods, there are several scriptures that refer to us as gods. And there are several scriptures that tell us that we came here to take dominion. We came here to be God. Because again, God is a spirit, and the only way that God can do what it needs to do here, that with the laws that were created and exist here on this earth, is to be in human form and to do the manipulating in human form as matter with matter. For those of you who do not believe in the Bible, I was also a disbeliever in the Bible. And now it's not that I believe or don't believe in the Bible. It just makes sense that every book and literature here has been able to capture history and some things that have transpired and taken place here on earth. Why would the Bible be something that is other than all the other books that were put here? Okay. Yes, the Bible has been manipulated. Because it makes sense. If you have the original knowledge and you are full of greed and lust and superiority, and you want to dominate and control everything, why wouldn't you change a few details in the Bible in order to suit your needs? However, the information in the Bible is necessary because it frees the human race. And if you are going to manipulate the Bible and change some details in the Bible, you would still need to keep the original, because the original message is where the real power lies, right? This is definitely what we have been experiencing as a human race, where we are discovering that there are parts of the Bible that have been removed, that are being found. That the translations that the Bible have gone through have stripped away the original meaning in some areas. And I would go as far as to say intentionally, again, in order to change a few details in order for it to suit the agenda of whoever has control of the media and publishing at that time. So as I said before, I used to believe that the Bible was null and void. But as I continued my walk here on life and I came into more of a spiritual journey, I found that a lot of the things in the Bible lined up with my life and the things that I was experiencing. And it also served as a tool to free me from a lot of the pain and the suffering that I was experiencing here on earth in my human experience. Now, the only reason that anyone would want to alter the Bible or any piece of information that would serve to liberate the masses of people, to free them into their real powers of being gods here on earth. The only reason why anyone would want to do that is to gain and maintain control. Without the information and knowledge of knowing who you truly are, it is almost impossible to come into who you were meant to be. So that leads me into my next point. My first point was that this is hell. My second point was that we're gods sent here in order to turn this place or prepare this place into a place of heaven on God's behalf as children of the Most High, who are also gods. Again, you can look that up in the Bible. And my next point is that as gods, you are able to choose. Okay? Now, I know I just talked about control and domination. Okay? With the control and domination, the only way to control and to dominate a god is to set a trap. It's to set traps, is to deceive and to lie in order to bend the wheel that allows you to create worlds and to do as you please. Now, the only way to set a trap with spiritual beings who are gods is to use the flesh against them. See, we're spiritual beings from source, who is God, which makes us gods, in human form, having a human experience. And being human means that these vessels come with rules, okay? And rule number one of being a human is that your body, your mind and your body are programmable. Your mind and your body are programmable. You can program your body and your mind to do whatever it is that you want to do. That is why, as humans, we are so intrigued with the Olympics. This shows us that we are able to push the human body to the limits. As humans, we have discovered and proven that we can program the body. This is why psychology is important. The people who have dedicated their lives to studying the human body and the human mind, both medical physicians and mental psychologists, which I have done myself. I've spent most of my life studying emotions, which is why I can bring this to you and present this to you with such confidence. When you learn that the body can operate outside of the spirit, you learn that you can program the mind and the body without the host knowing that the mind and the body is being programmed. This is done through subliminal messages, through sound and frequency. Okay, anything that touches or enters the senses of the body is programming the body, because the body takes the sensory from the outside environment and it translates it and it stores it. Okay, so the traps that have been set for you are messages that keep you in perpetual cycles of suffering, that tell you, that send messages to you that are in contrary to messages that would free you. So watching someone go through a relationship and stay in a relationship that is detrimental to them programs you to believe that going through a relationship that is not good for you and staying is the way that it should be done. This can be seen through music. It can also be it can be seen through messages that are displayed and demonstrated in TV shows. Just anything. Oh, music. I think I said music. Frequencies. Anything, again, that comes through the senses will and can program the body and the mind to think, believe, and behave in a particular way. And if the host is unaware, because they have been deprived of knowledge and information that would help them to guard themselves from the sensories that they are picking up from their environment, if they've been deprived of this, the host can be and will be programmed against their will. So again, having this type of knowledge, if you are greedy, if you have a sense of superiority, if you are stingy, if you are any of these things, and you harbor the information that would allow other beings to be gods themselves, if you take this knowledge and information away and then you introduce messages to them that program the mind and the body, you can create traps that will keep people in mental and physical cycles that will stunt their evolutionary growth and experiences in order to become and experience life as the gods that they were actually put here to be and experience life as. Therefore, impeding the coming of God, impeding the preparation of the place that we are expecting to be heaven, to be made here on earth. Now, do you understand what this is all about? Now that we talked about all of that, I'd like to give one more detail about the traps. So aside from being programmed to go into repetitive cycles that stunt your evolutionary growth and therefore impede the coming of God, which is you, in human form, through the spirit that is God from source. Because again, God can only prepare this earth and move as matter through matter, which is you, which is why you're so important. Another trap that is set is the induction of fear and the ideal that making mistakes is not acceptable. So sin levels the playing field among gods, okay? Sin levels the playing field. If you have gotten whiff of some of the things that take place among the elite, okay? The elite use the concept of sin to control exposure of their wickedness. They use sin to, the concept that sin levels the playing field among gods. They use this concept to control the exposure of the wickedness that they possess. In addition to that, I would just like to say not all elite are wicked, okay? And by wicked, I mean using sin or transgressing against people knowingly and intentfully in order to have material gain in whatever way that they want to gain things. So not all elite are wicked, and we have all been sent here in a sinful nature, which is to level the playing field and allow us space and opportunity to be able to create and to make mistakes. So being here and making mistakes is our nature. If you look at a baby, it's almost as if, the baby makes mistakes, but it's its innocence that that allows them to make mistakes. The wicked part comes in where you make these mistakes, but you do them on purpose. This is what we call sin. And then you use the mistakes to your benefit in order to gain domination and control. This would look something like making someone do something that would be considered sinful to the masses of the people in order to have the upper hand or have leverage over them, so that if they ever wanted to expose the next person, that they would have something on them and it would induce fear and they wouldn't want to expose them.
Hey, sorry, just wanted to cut in here real quick. I realized that as I'm editing this video, I did not explain to you the importance of the elite misusing the concept of sin leveling the playing field among gods. Okay, so the reason why I bring this up and why this is so important is because messages have been sent to you and you have been indoctrinated into a culture that sends messages of fear, that has cultivated fear in you about creating, about making mistakes, or about committing sins, okay? When the very nature of who you are is imperfection, which means it is inevitable that you will make a mistake, okay? So you've been indoctrinated into this culture of fear of making mistakes and fear of committing sin. You have been socialized to condemn sin and to condemn those who make mistakes, as opposed to passing good judgment on people in situations like this, because again, the very nature of us is imperfection, which means it is inevitable that we will make a mistake. That means one day you will make a mistake, but the culture you have been indoctrinated into makes it so that you will be fearful of that day, of that moment, of that time and space in which you are, it's inevitable that you will make a mistake. Okay, so you are socialized into practically self-hate and self-rejection. And this is used in order to create the trap.
This is what I mean by the elite use the concept of sin leveling the playing field. They use it as a tool in order to not have their true wickedness that they possess exposed. Okay? Because they would be dethroned. They would lose the amount of power that they have acquired by deceiving the masses. Okay? Next thing that I want to bring up when it comes to the elite and, gaining control and power. So not only do they use sin to level the playing field and cover up their wickedness, but then they go on to use Jesus, who is the sacrifice, to claim redemption from their wickedness so they can go on living their lives without guilt or shame. But see, then it's up to the people, who is God, right, to deliver them their judgment. For we all have to be judged, right? Right. And we, the people, for the people, by the people, have that power to judge, as we are all gods. This is another reason why we have this list of, what do you call them, commandments. It's to keep us in check. It's to keep our minds on a path that will allow us all to have the freedom that we desire, that will allow us all to experience human life in this journey the way that we please, as the gods that we were sent here to experience life as in human form. We all have the power to judge, but we are instructed to not use that power to condemn, because again, like I said before, we are all of sinful nature. The judgment is to keep us in check, okay? Is to keep us from going too far outside of the line, because we all can choose. And if we choose to, we can, be the detriment and the end of civilization. So it's just a way of having checks and balances, okay? We are here in a sinful nature. We all make mistakes, which levels the playing field, which keeps us from pointing the finger at each other. But we all have the ability to judge when it is necessary, when it comes to that, in order to keep us in line. Now, let's get back to the original point, is that as a God, you can choose, all right? If you take that information away, everything that I just told you, you cannot choose for yourself. You are subjected to an experience of fear, which again impedes your evolution, but it also entraps you from doing anything that you really want to do. You can choose. So that means that you can also choose the amount of suffering that you experience as a human, or the amount of heaven that you experience, the amount of hell that you create, and the amount of heaven that you make here on earth. As gods from God, you are here to experience human life and to be able to choose and create like gods. So now that we've gotten through all of that, I hope I didn't bore you. And I hope that the information is helpful to you in your human experience, as I am here to serve you. And it is my pleasure and it is my honor, okay? My last point is, the point here is that you can do whatever you want. As a God, sent here to be God and to dominate and to create your heaven or your hell here on earth, you can do whatever you want to do. As I said before, there are going to be people who don't want you to do what you want to do. There are power in numbers as well, okay? When one person has the control of one other or more of people, that is a power that is greater than the individual person, the individual will, the individual God. And so people will want control over you. They want your power because it makes them more powerful. To be able to consume and to direct your power the way that they see fit makes them more powerful. So there are people who don't want you to do whatever it is you want to do. These people can be anybody. This could be family members, parents, siblings, children, friends. This could be governmental organizations, anybody or any entity that wants you to follow them or to do as they do or do what they want you to do is using and consuming your power. You can choose to give your power away, to team up and use your power. You can choose to do all of that, but you have the choice. You can choose. With that said, though, there's a catch. Now, remember, I talked about you being programmed into giving your power away or into not being able to use your power at all. The catch is, in order to have power, you have to have control, which is why people don't want you to do what you want to do. What they want you to do, what they want to do, is control. In order for you to do what you want to do, you have to gain control of yourself. And in order to gain control of yourself, you have to gain control of the thing that creates this reality that makes the human experience, which is your emotions. And then from there, your mind. And then from there, your actions. But it starts with the emotions. So in order to gain control and to be the God that you were sent here to be, you first have to gain control of your emotions. Once you have gained control of your emotions, you will have the time, the space, and the opportunity to really see yourself for who you are and what you want and what you desire. And then from there, you can start to walk your journey in the direction of the things that you actually want and desire. I, again, am on assignment. I'm here to help with the collective evolutionary consurgence. So for some years now, I have been gathering and collecting information and publishing them for the collective in order for you to gain the control over your life that is yours as your birthright. I've published this information through books, a podcast. I do lots of videos covering different topics that deal with the human experience. I have a TikTok, I have an Instagram, I have several YouTube pages. And again, I said that I have a podcast. Most of this, and books. Most of this information that I have published is free. However, I'm going to read this the way I wrote it because I want you to understand this. However, there are some fast tracking information that you are required to pay for in monetary currency as a sacrifice instead of paying for it with your time, pain, and suffering to get the lessons and the info required to evolve. It just solidifies your commitment to the process. As humans, we value what we pay for. You understand? Also, if you want to speak personally with me, an exchange of monetary currency for time is required, as all of my time is spent doing the work of the universe. As I said previously, I'm here on assignment. I do whatever the universe instructs me to do. So if you are requiring some personal one-on-one time, I have set up links that are on the website for you to schedule time and get a personal session. If you just have some questions that are just not answered for you, if you feel like you have a unique situation, whatever you feel like you need and you want to talk to me one-on-one, just go to the website. On the side panel, it'll say booking information. Just book a session and I will speak with you. So now that I've come to the end of this message, again, I'm here on assignment. This is hell. This could also be heaven. We were sent here to be gods, to make heaven here on earth. You can choose, and it starts with controlling yourself through emotional intelligence and finding out what you desire and moving in that direction. I have lots of resources that I have set up for you. I also have some more resources that are coming in the future, in the near future, okay? And if you need any personal time, go to the website. All the links to everything that I'm referring to will be in the description box below. Books on narcissism and depression, those are already up and ready to go. The podcast on emotional intelligence, that is ready. So if you're ready and willing to move forward with your evolutionary experience into your godhood here on earth, I wish you all the luck. I'm here to support you. Again, I'm pleased and honored to be here as a guide and an assistance to you. Again, I'm Risha GodstyleBilal, your neighborhood earthly hype human, and it has been a pleasure to serve you in this way. And peace and blessings.